This is me standing straight.
And this is me. Oh, can I?
In the middle.
Oh, no.
You won't be able to do it here, but at least it's soft.
That's what she said.
It's not, I promise you.
Alright.
Oop. I've never been in a Sea King before. And this is cool.
You've been seeking it all your time, haven't you? Oh, you can do radar and stuff.
Radar and stuff. I've been in many, many different aircraft before, but never, ever in a Sea King. So I'm having a nice walk around in some fairy planes. My nana used to work at Fairy. Some other ones in the thingy there. And all of a sudden realised John's not with me. John's found a workshop.
Interesting stuff.
He goes, ooh, an English wheel.
You've got a lathe as well.
There's a lathe as well.
Uh-huh.
Bless him. And look, I live there too.
Danger. Highly flammable.
Highly flammable gases.
Welcome. You're about to head onto the flight deck of a Royal Navy aircraft carrier, one of the busiest, most dangerous places on Earth. Here, you will start your exploration of the largest and most important warship in the Royal Navy.
Okay.
Oh, I thought we were actually going to go up to the flight deck.
Look.
Ah, it's an aircraft carrier. Look.
So as you're coming through, there are all of these things. It looks like the interior of the aircraft carrier, and then you get a video that explains the scene that's in front of you. So we've had the aircraft carrier control at the top, the radar station, and all the things. So it's actually been quite cool. Oh, we got you.
Hello and welcome to the Warfare Operations Room, the nerve centre of the ship during a war situation.
In other words, this was the driving seat. You might expect to find the captain up here, but he spent as much time down in the operations room as you...
Well then.
That was, sorry to interrupt,
Yeah.
that was the most impressive museum, like a military museum that I've ever been to.
Yes. I mean, as you've probably already seen, the attention to detail and mocking up or using parts of an entire aircraft carrier, unbelievable.
Yeah.
Loads of stuff. We're not ones to stop and read everything as we're going around, but we stopped and read enough, and there's all the timelines of aviation and seeing biplanes.
Yeah.
As soon as man first created flight and planes, they wanted to take them off ships and go do things with them. So yeah, well impressive. It's not the cheapest of museums we've been to, is it?
Yeah, middle of the range.
22 quid if you don't book in advance, 18 quid if you do, but that's your ticket for the year. So you can come back as many times as you like for the year. So yeah.
I do recommend the engineering workshops as well.
Yeah, because they're rebuilding a whole plane in there, and then the guy kept coming up and explaining about it and stuff, didn't he? So yeah, absolutely brilliant. Good morning. So we are at the Stratton Arms. We've been here before with Greg and Lou and Dom and Missy and Rosie and Rob. Blooming good weekend it was for both Dom and Missy's wedding anniversary and John's birthday. And we were up till like 6 in the morning, like the dirty stop-outs we are. And yeah, a good weekend was had. This weekend a little bit different. We got here after the pub had finished serving food, but they were more than happy to just let us sit in and have some drinks. I think they even offered to put a pizza on, but we were fine for that. So that was lovely. We have figured out that we very, very need much need John's Starlink down here, because there is the tiniest bit of a signal that reaches down. So yeah, after quite an eventful little drive already, we've seen the otters, going to the Naval Museum, stopping at the Drove for a little bit, coming to this pub, a couple of other pub stops as well along the way. Tonight we get to see Mevy and Kirsty, which we've been looking forward to seeing them. So they've picked a restaurant that does stopovers too. So we are heading to a little place not too far away. So we're just going to go to a little place and park up and get some work done, maybe do a little walk before we go and see them tonight. So that should be absolutely bloody lovely. We just got to our little car park. I think it's I want to say Ant Hill. I have no idea. We're on a skunt a little, but it's a busy walkies car park, so it's going to be really good. So we're just going to get the things done we need to get done, then go for a walk before we go and meet Mevy at 5 o'clock or whatever. And I think we're about half an hour away, so we've got bags of time. But then it's like you turn your seats round, ready to work, and then walk into the back and see a close call. Cut me eggs. That's a close call. Oh, it is warm in here today. I love being nosy. This is, I think, the one thing I've missed. I mean, I know I've been on a campsite for all this time. There's only so much you can watch people putting tents up in the wind and find it funny rather than tragic, or interesting rather than tragic. So it's been nice to actually sit and just watch people and see all the dogs, because of course it's full of dog walkers. Yeah, it's been good. But I've just had a call from my original contact, my case manager, I think she was called, Davina, who has just got all the details about what happened to me down in Cornwall. So she was really shocked, because she was just like, this never happens. It seemed that everybody had given her the information about what had happened, and she was just like, we'd never see pelvic infections like this just after chemo and radiotherapy. The brachytherapy normally doesn't do anything like that. I don't know why it's happened. The words ovarian cyst apparently had been left out of everything, and it seems that ovarian cyst was very important, because by me saying that made everything make sense. She was checking out my MRIs. Apparently it's all been referred to an external doctor to have a look at everything, just to make sure that they haven't missed anything. And it's lovely that they're being so thorough. Nobody there thinks that they've missed anything. I think it was really just bad timing and bad luck with how everything was going, because I've had ovarian cysts before, but they've always been minor and they pop up and go away. Because of course it just happens when you're still having periods. That kind of kicks off the thing like that, as well as endometriosis, which I also have. And she was saying that you could see that there was endometriosis present on my first MRI scans, but there was nothing for ovarian cysts. So she was looking at them at the time, and she said that she'll show them me next time I see her, which is actually going to be quite interesting. But yeah, it looks like it was all just bad timing. I ran a few things by her, and yeah, there's nothing wrong with me still having sensitive bowels and bladder, and things like that. That's absolutely normal. I've just got to try and keep all the pressure off anything, because even as awful as it sounds, if you get constipated and the pressure in your abdomen and having to push and things, that can cause a lot of damage down there as well. I've got to start using the dilators that they gave me, because the hospital said not to do that, hospital in Cornwall, because of the operation. But if I don't use them or do any kind of exercises down there, then they're not going to be able to give me an examination, which I never even thought about. And every 3 months I get an internal examination, yay, and a scan. So I've got to make sure that I'm okay and everything down there works okay for the doctors to be able to do that, because obviously if they can't see it, then they can't check it. So I've got to double check for things like that. So it was a lovely, interesting phone call, kind of back with a bang for all of the cancer care and things. And it was so lovely, because she was so worried. Happy that it's being looked into properly, because they don't want to be responsible for anything like this. So I'm happy that they're actually having a thorough look into it as well. So yeah, so it was an interesting phone call. And they've also said that because I'm having the scan on Friday, and then I'll see my doctor 3 weeks later. But because I'm having it Friday, then it'll be 3 months after that, which will be the beginning of January. And all being well, favourite new saying, all being well, because it's got to be well, hasn't it, if you can't do anything. We're hoping to get across to France and Spain and Portugal in January, find some sunshine, finally. And of course, I can always fly back for scans, that's not a problem. But she said what she can do is get it so it's scheduled for the end of December, and then I just go back for another one when we get back. So it's lovely that they're working with me. She understands completely that this year just hasn't gone to plan. I understand completely that my health and being looked at is far more important than travelling. But between us both, we'll make it work. So I'm really happy about that. It was a lovely phone call. So yeah. That meant that I hadn't got any work done. I've just been transferring files over, because that's what happens when you do YouTube. You just literally find yourself transferring things from your phone and your Osmo and from one drive to another, and it's just everywhere. So yeah, so back to doing some things. Like I say, 3 hours or so to go before we leave to go meet Mevy. And yeah, it's roasting. I'm going to go open a window. It's been a lovely drive back up to Hull so far. We've eaten at plenty of pubs, which have been lovely. And we did stay for a couple of nights at the Drove just to make sure I had enough rest too. It's 4 days until my scan, and then we've got to figure out what to do for the 3 weeks until I get the results. Thank you all so much for watching. If you do like my videos, please feel free to hit the subscribe button. It's free to do, and then if you hit the notification bell, you'll never miss a video. In the meantime, take loads of care, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye!